The next shot, it goes to weapons now, which is cool.
Also, just I like the sketch of the docking bit.
Yeah. I just want to read off the weapons this thing has.
Yeah.
48 phaser arrays, rotary mounts. 36 phaser emitters, stationary mounts. 3 phaser emitters, sliding mounts. And 48 plus photon torpedo launchers with a maximum capacity of 5,000 torpedoes on board after the refit of 2374 or 72. You would never think it looking at it that it had that much stuff, but
yeah, those battles, they had to restock. They had to bring a lot of torpedoes in to restock this thing.
Yeah, I remember when they were out of torpedoes at one point.
Oh,
and they had to bluff.
Yeah. I love certainly the weapon. We even got to handle the original weapons turret one of our trips to LA, so that was a really wonderful experience. It's just a fun little diagram. But yeah, very heavily armed, very cool. That was a worth waiting for scene.
Mm-hmm.
But the next picture, though, is a really good little diagram, just so we have some actual answers to what things are. Yeah.
Yes.
Things, and there you
go. Defensive weapons sail towers are those things in the middle, those spiky things. So, a sail tower, but with a weapon mount.
It makes sense. It's got the field of view, the other zones. I mean, it's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like how the proportions are slightly different in this. Just slightly.
Yeah.
Well, the outer ring feels a bit thinner. It's one little things.
Yeah, a little bit. Quite a bit.
And that central bit is chunky.
Bulkier, yeah. And this was drawn by Rick Sternbach. As you can see there, his signatures on it.
Ooh, in 92. This was still one of the work in progresses.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and even the docking pylons from the side aren't quite as thick near the base as they are from the final version. So.
But speaking of docking pylons,
yes. Next
picture is a little top view, just because I could do fun angles of Ed's models. And again, wonderful model to look at. And it's cool you can see the windows at the back of the other pod things, and just little details.
Yeah, like I said, this kind of ties in with my view of the Cardassians, at least. Not the Kardashians, the Cardassians. They look like cobra heads ready to strike. Like you can see almost like an eye there, and 2 little fangs sticking out ready.
Yeah.
I mean, they look aggressive. They look... That's just my imagination,
Dock here if you dare.
Dun dun dun.
Our immigration and our border control is very invasive. If you can stomach that, then dare.
But we want to take a closer look at these docking pylons, because I always wondered what they look like up close, and we never saw them. Never quite sure how the docking clamps looked or whatever. So here we got a shot of it, and you can see the little docking ring. Now, not every ship would be able to butt up against that, so I'm sure there's like a tube that either comes up from the ship or from the station. And do you think those docking clamps actually move side to side a little bit to accommodate different sizes?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It depends how... If they would design it for cargo ships, then it would need to be a standard, you know? But would they then... It would be such an easy thing to retrofit, you know, have them move, have that space. Because I was wondering that when I did the top render with the Galaxy, it's like, obviously you can't attach it because there's these prongs. Yeah. So there's got to be an umbilical. I mean, we see an umbilical in the on the Starbase, so we know that they've got that ability. But I guess it's all umbilical. Yeah. And then maybe these, like... I mean, why even have the pincers then, you know?
Well, for different style ships, they made the Defiant to specifically dock into something like that, and so the clamps would be there to kind of just make sure the ship stays in place. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be station keeping using its RCS thrusters and stuff to keep it from.
So you think they like have a tractor beam field, like a static gravity thing to keep it in place? I mean, because they don't physically attach. There's never like a squeezing you to stay in, and obviously they couldn't do that in any of the bigger ships, but if there's like a gravity field, it can push out or something just to keep it like magnetically locked. Possibly,
and I think if there's like ever a power issue, you could maybe actually clamp them onto the ship just to kind of secure the ship a little bit if there's issues with whatever. I mean,
just scuffs the paint.
Well, so many different ways they could go about it. But yeah, probably tractor beam emitters and gravity and yeah, it depends on the ship that's docking too. So would be in my mind.
But it looks cool. It's actually a well designed little zone.
Oh yeah, it's cool to see up close like that.
And again, Ed's model, so disclaimer, might not be 100% accurate, but again, Ed's also known for his accuracy, Mr. Ed Jennings. But the next picture is a great view, and again, this is a really fun station to light and just to try and get some good shots of. It was actually surprisingly efficient, easy. This is a view of the other two docking areas. So you said this is a smaller docking area? What was it called in the notes? You had the primary ones, you had the medium ones. What was the teeny ones called?
9 small docking ring ports. And the 3 medium docking ring ports, and then 6 large docking ring ports. Yeah. Okay,
so I mean the umbilical looks the same, scaling wise to me.
But the clamps are, if those are clamps that can slide, they are substantially smaller than the ones up top. So it could be for smaller ships. And that's what those are the ones that the Defiant docks to all the time. By the pylon there that's lit up, but it's the same style, right? So, and that's where the issue I have with the Defiant comes in, is how do they actually dock that? But whatever.
Maybe they dock, but then just use beaming technology.
No, let's just. Yeah. That's a discussion for another day, I think.
Am I remembering correctly? Those ports, those grills, they're the impulse engines on the edge of the rim. Aren't those the impulse engines that easiest to move? When it did move that one time?
I believe so. Maneuvering thrusters, I think. Well, yeah. Not really designed to move it very far, but yeah.
No. Yeah, because that's a great placement. But like I said, if you swap it to phaser strips or put phaser strips where the top grilling is, I mean, you can have a really nice, Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder where all the phaser arrays are. It says 48 rotary mounts.
Well, speaking of, next picture, there's a close-up of the outer ring, or I guess the inner ring, and that's where a lot of the phasers are. Because they both fire phase and torpedoes from these things in different ways. They kind of it's a little bit. Because if you zoom into the strip, both so the outer thing is a rotating phaser. Oh no, that's torpedo. Well, things they do both. They fire torpedoes from the center of the phasers occasionally. They're all just weapons. The CGP lost track.
Yeah, it's new technology, but I love how they retract it and come out to spin. That's cool. And it's funny because when I watched those battle scenes initially, I always thought that part was on the upper and lower pylons. I didn't think it was these. But then, as you said, we saw the one in LA, and we actually got to hold it, and it was really quite fascinating to know that was the one used in those shots. And now, looking at it, you can see the retracted the turret in there, and it's just very cool.
I mean, it's great placement, and it's nice because it is directly next to the bridge and the generator. I mean, yes, obviously the pylons are quite key to protect, but I'm sure this is where the people live, this zone, because you're not going to live next to docking stuff necessarily. I mean, there's probably a lot of living quarters, but this is, I'm sure, the habitat ring, so that's where people live. The inner ring is then the promenade where people work, and above that is the work where people work. So I mean, this is, if you can defend one bit, keep this central bit safe, and hence why there's a billion guns here. That's such a well designed middle bit. I really like this middle. Like, this could be a station just in of itself. I would totally buy it.
Yeah, and I would like to see deck plans of this thing, because I always wondered where exactly their quarters were in relation to things. Because you got the ones that go out to each pylon from the center, like what's in there, and what's in the outer ring. Probably a lot of cargo bays. We see cargo bays all the time in this thing. I don't know. I just want to see a layout of this thing, see where Cisco's quarters are and things like that.
Yeah, and what's in the pylons? Like, how much of that? I mean, I've got turbo lifts, but directly down. But is it filled up with other stuff? I mean, is it cargo bays just with ceilings like this? I mean, I want to know. I'm interested. Yeah, absolutely. And how much of this is torpedoes? Because I mean, 5,000 torpedoes is a lot of physical space. Where are they stacked?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so the next shot is a close-up of the operations module with the little Cardassian window. Hey, they got a window. They got a window for their view screen.
But
they don't.
we never see it as a window, though, do we?
No, I always thought it was like a holographic projection.
Yeah. Maybe that's just an upper observation part of it.
Maybe. Oh no, that's Cisco's office. That's the window behind his desk.
Doi.
Yeah. There we go. We figured it out.
Good save. I'll just put screaming at us in the comments. I like the fact that these little...
They will anyway.
The little push-out bits, they're the shield generators. Again, I love that. Right where you need to defend.
Yeah.
And very Cardassian strategy as well. We're defending the bridge. Everything's going to blow up. We're defending the bridge.
I wouldn't be surprised if that upper bridge module, including those shield emitters, could detach from the main body and like use like.
Oh, I hope it does.
Like thrusters underneath, like a little UFO.
I mean, they're right. It was designed to be right above Bajor, so all we have to do is get to Bajor.
18 minutes via escape pod. We figured that out.
Oh, that's really quick. Wow.
Yep.
Not anymore.
No anymore. But yeah, and then seeing the upper walkway of the promenade with those windows there is always very cool. Huge windows too.
Yeah, it's cool. But speaking of the speaking of the ops, sorry, because this was both close up. But next picture is the a set photo of the ops. And what did you think of this when you saw it on the show?
This was just cool. This is like a strategic command kind of thing. Not really set up like a ship at all. It's more like, NORAD or something. Even NASA control. There's different stations, and I love that his office is right there. Yeah, I think it's really coolly laid out, and I do like the Cardassian aesthetic here. Lots of cool shapes and really interesting things to look at. Although I always wondered why they never replaced the Cardassian computer displays with anything Federation. I mean, you would think that just changing the interface to something Federation would be so simple.
Yeah, you would think as the slave labor force, you wouldn't want to look at Cardassian graphics that you've seen, run your life for the last few years. Making Federation, I bet they're easier to use because Federation are there to work for all different sorts of races. Cardassians are just Cardassians. Yeah, but we're taken away from the alien aesthetic. But I think that would have been an obvious, first thing. It's like, well, why bother wearing stuff uniforms if you're gonna, put on Cardassian uniforms if you're not gonna bother updating.
That's cosplay.
I mean, we can't bring our own computer systems. We can't bring our own uniforms. But it's very kind of Battlestar Galactica vibe.
Yeah.
Obviously, which one came first? Neither, because they're based on real, real sets of real CICs. But it's definitely very functional, and I kind of wish that we got in widescreen. It was being filmed in widescreen because you would have seen more. Because I never got, apart from very very few instances, you never got like nice pan out, appreciate the surroundings. Always either close ups, medium shots. I mean, I had to find this one. I had to actively look for a good one that really showed the set. If you just had widescreen, it would have looked certainly better. If they'd done a movie, anamorphic, I think they could have made the station look so incredible. I mean, I would love to have seen a Generations treatment. Okay, not that much orange light, obviously, but a more cinematic version of this set. It's a nice set, a wonderful amount of like glowies and panels and lights. That really adds something. So, give us on a movie budget, you could make this set look even better.
Yeah. Well, there were quite a few good shots from like down in the center of the pit there where Kira is, of somebody walking along and they would follow him. So you kind of got a sense of that a little bit. And I love the little pit that O'Brien always has to go into to fix things, and there's a lot of dimensionality in there. Is what I'm saying.
And I never noticed, but look where Kira is. Those the chairs pull out.
Mm-hmm. I never noticed that either, but that's very cool.
But speaking of things I noticed before, the next picture is the overall shot from Ex Scientifica, as we always love, and there's just an overall. And actually, we just looked at most of the set. There's not much else that we didn't see. We just missed the transporter and turbolift. Transporter right there. How do you feel about that, Stuart?
that's cool. I mean, they've wanted to incorporate that into Star Trek for a while. It was first going to be a transporter on the bridge of the refit Enterprise for the motion picture. Then they were going to incorporate it onto the D. They never actually did. They finally got their chance, and I think it's a good idea for command staff. I think that's a great idea, and especially you got to think Cardassians. They're going to want to get the hell out of there if there's problems, especially the person in charge, like Aldecott. So to have a transporter right there, make sure you're safe at least. You know, thinking as a Cardassian. So love it.
Yeah, but again, it amazes me how actually it kind of feels less functional now. There's only a few stations, and we sort of saw them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's actually quite sort of streamlined in its own way, but it's like, oh, okay, it's actually not as big as I thought.
And that pit at the front, I would, fill that with water, turn that into a jacuzzi. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Next picture.
Remastered.
Next picture, the promenade.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, the promenade's very cool. I love the upper deck. You can walk along, and you got the windows there, and just all the shops. I mean, the Bajoran Temple. You got the security office, and the bar. I mean, it's a very cool setup, and you get to see a lot of the shops as well, which is nice.
They savored what they built.
Oh, I would too. I would love to be on those sets, man.
Yeah, and they had a ceiling, it had stars out the windows, which is such a good touch at practical stars. I mean, it's just literally sequins that reflect light off a black top. But I remember people have said, and Larry Nemechek said when we interviewed him, I believe, or just talked to him one time, you could have walked through this, and it's like you're in the set. I mean, there's no out of it. This walk that would have been certainly impressive. Although I do think the colours are a little bit bland, and you can see the lack of like paint detail. I don't know. I think that's one of the things where it's still a Star Trek view of the future. It's still a TV budget. If this was a movie set,
Well, again, and there you got to think too. It was originally a Cardassian mining station, and then it got turned into like out on the outskirts, the frontier outpost. So it wasn't, getting all the attention and love it deserved.
It was repainted with cheap paint anyway. So
sure.
But yeah, great promenade. Just got a little end close-ups. Next picture is of the generator. Again, love this piece, love the design, love how powerful it feels and chunky and just it's cool.
Yes. Powerful. Very good. Next shot is its shot from the top.
It's a cool angle.
Yeah, it is a cool angle. Yeah, don't have much to say. I just want to know I want to know what's in those center, those attachment things, and really, okay, you got the docking pads for the runabouts and stuff. Those are on the inner ring there.
Mm-hmm.
So is that the habitat ring? Like, how are you going to have landing bays and habitat together?
Well, they're shuttle bays. I mean, they're the personal version. I mean, they're you want to get them quickly. You want to.
Yeah, close to your quarters for VIP. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. I just want to see an internal layout. I want to know where everything's situated here.
Because obviously, I mean, I think if you were a Cardassian, your brain would be, right, so you've got... I mean, where was the all-processing bit of the station? I have no idea. But you can imagine if you think of this, the middle ring being... So the big bit in the middle... That's where the Cardassians lived, worked, shot targets for kill practice. I don't know, just classic Cardassian stuff. Obviously, you have to have the shuttle bay things for the personal. They're flying down. They're going from there to Bajor. That's the bit. Outside of that ring is the I don't care. That's for the the Cardassians that are the overtakers or the overlords. Those guys who manage the slaves. That's that other ring. We don't care about that. So we want to dock in this inner ring because the outer ring is where the scum are that work. And kind of imagine that sort of mindset. That's why you put it so close.
Yeah.
Kind of sounded really harsh there. I was trying to zone into a really mean Cardassian because they were mean at that point. They were worse than the friendly good Ducats of the world. Clarky's straight face is not very friendly. Last new view though is a top view, just to give you a sense of the overall feel of the station because you really don't ever see this sort of shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very cool station. I'm glad I finally got a little version of it. I never wanted one, but
Yeah, I didn't either, and I got one. I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Is that a Hallmark one?
yeah, it's the Hallmark ornament.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a cool station. I'll end on the first one, which is a really nice beauty. Not a render, but one from the actual show, or like one promotional picture from the show.
yeah, promotional. I've seen this one forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Closing thoughts, Stuart, on the Deep Space Nine space station, originally Terranor of the Cardassian Union. Yes.
Fantastic design, a lot of cool shapes, a lot of cool ingenuity. Got a few problems with the internals, like I said, like running through those corridors with those lips everywhere. You damn near break your neck. And I think a few people do trip occasionally every once in a while and hurt themselves. But anyway, also the color palette, the way it ties into the Cardassians, Galore ships, their uniforms, and even their body structure, I think is very neat. And not necessarily planned that way when we talked to Rick, but he was kind of like, it worked, right? So anyway, I'm just saying. And as I said too, I want to see deck by deck plans of this. I would love to find out where everything is situated. I think that would make the viewing experience a lot more pleasurable, kind of knowing where things are situated. Because I never really get a sense for where the habitat ring is, whether it's the outside ring or the inside ring, or where the quarters are. I don't know. It just...
It's like you know the middle bit. A bit.
Yes.
Everything else is a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great station. It's actually very simple when you break it down. It's easily sketchable, until you start doing the little teeny details of like the pins and stuff. It's a very simple shape to draw. And that is, I don't know which designer said that, but a ship needs to be easily recognisable, distinctive shape, definitive shape. This is certainly all of those things, and yet still very simple, but you can hide detail very easily, and you imagine... I know Tobias Rich did a really nice model of it, but if you went that even further, like if you're doing a full-on 2017 motion picture and you wanted really incredible detail, you could add like thrusters details in, you could add really nice like rust and paint chips and really texture it, add in all the windows stuff, add in really make it feel... I'd love to see a hyper real, like the LucasArts team that does the new Star Wars films, like one of those sort of ILM top quality models of this thing. How real it could feel, with reflective metals, and the station is all about that potential, and it looks great for what it is, but I would love to see like a hyper realized version, hyper real one. I think it would really come alive even more. Yeah, great station, and I'm so glad I went with that version, because it could have been so much worse for a station.
Could have been.
So yeah, there you go. There's our double bonus release for the end of the year. Have a wonderful Christmas, everybody, or just 25th or 24th or New Year's, whatever you want to celebrate, guys. Enjoy. Hope you enjoyed our bonuses and all our normal content for this very ship and station Prime Canon original Trek focus last month. Have you enjoyed it, Stuart?
I have, absolutely, yes. And I am looking forward to doing a full episode on this station. I'm sure it'll be quite a long one, or a multi-parter for sure, because there's a lot to talk about. So,
I mean, there is an entire manual.
Of course there is.
So good luck with that.
Hey,
he says with excitement, because I want to read that. I want to learn all about it. And
so if you guys want to help us and see a full version of this full episode on this, we would love to do that. But you can help us, do that by going to Patreon, clicking the link below, helping us out on a monthly basis. That would definitely help us get the time to actually research this fully and really present something that's worth. It's fantastic and something you guys can learn a lot of information about.
The definitive thing, as you always say.
Yeah. I accept that time. You were waiting for me to say it. I didn't say the definitive version, but there you go, the definitive version. Or you can head on over to Trekyards.com and shoot us a one-time donation. That'll help out also. Because it does take time to research and write these, believe it or not. And
I believe it.
And this one... I always learn so much when I do it. I'm looking forward to learning more about this station and, things you never really think about when you watch the show. You get to find out.
And even though we're going to then forget that information, we then get to go back and watch our own episodes and learn it all over again, because we know we've done the best possible, version of it. So yeah, I'm excited, and like Stuart said, it takes time and energy, and we want to cover everything. So help us to keep the show going that long, to get to everything and the detail we know we want to give, because we have high expectations of ourselves. But if you want to help that in just a nice, free, pleasant, just easy way, then just share this show, this channel, any way you think Trek fans will enjoy it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, because a subscription means you get alerted of all the things we do. Although make sure you click that bell notification so you do get alerted. Like I said, like this video, other videos that you like. Go back and look at our extensive backlog, including our original interview with Rick Sternbach about the design. A lot of great stuff learned there, and we're going to do a follow-up at some point as well. And of course, join our our Facebook page. There you go, Trekyards Facebook, and go join the community. A lot of great discussions, kind of a ridiculous amount every single day. You will find a ship you love, a new one almost every single day. I mean, we see new ships almost every day, and we're Trekyards. Yeah.
Go join. That's what he's saying.
Yes.
And until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Hungs.
Warp speed ahead. Whew. Could you imagine if that thing went to warp?